In the morning when I'm driving, I really come alive when I listen to my Ronnie, I listen to my Ronnie Q. They are rare and they are few who can compare with Ronnie Q. So grab a chair, she's coming through. She's on the air, it's time for Ronnie Q. They are rare and they are few who can compare with Ronnie Q. So grab a chair, she's coming through. She's on the air, it's time for Ronnie Q. Ronnie Q. It's time for Ronnie Q. Ronnie Q. It's time for Ronnie. In the morning while I'm driving, Ronnie, I really come alive when it's time for Ronnie Q. I listen to my Ronnie, Ronnie. I listen to my Ronnie. It's time for Ronnie Q. Take a seat and go meet Ronnie. Sweet, 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 sweet Ronnie. No day complete without my Ronnie. She can't be beat. Sweet, sweet Ronnie.
Grand Rising, Grand Rising. I hope everyone had a great evening. Hello, hello, hello. What's going on? Please hit the like button, and I appreciate you being here. Let me see. I apologize. Please hit the like button. I appreciate you being here. Nobody said anything yet. I will go on with what I'm doing over here, giving you news that you can use. Okay. The goals are set. If you've learned something today, feel free to hit the goals. Okay, 1 second. So what do you guys think about what is going on in this country right about now? I don't know if you guys saw a dictator. What does he call himself? Something to the effect that the sexiest dictator sitting up in the White House yesterday. Did any of you guys catch that? And what do you think about the Supreme Court being ignored? I mean, they were the one who actually set the bar for 47 to do whatever he wanted to do in office. As I believe it's apropos that their ruling is the first ruling that he ignores. But what say you guys? Grand Rising and Renee, Rascal and Saucy, and Ronnie Q. Good morning, M. Renee says. It's good to see you, as always, M. Renee. So, I'm very interested. Well, I'll continue. I find it to be actually a crazy, scary time in the United States right now. I will keep it 100. Let me add my content to my description box. So anything that I show today, I've just added to my description box. Feel free to go with me over there to my description box at any time. You will find any videos that I'm playing in the description box. So let's talk about. Let me remove this. I apologize. Okay, so I really want to talk about that dude sitting up in the White House. Now, I don't know how much clearer the Supreme Court ruling needed to be. I mean, if someone wanted to obey the ruling as they mouthed out loud, they would have just turned to the man who's sitting next to him and said, "Hey, I need you to return that guy that I sent to your country to the Gulag prison full of gang members with their tattoos all over their faces and everything. I need you to send him back." Yeah, the $6 million I'm paying you, it does. You can do it for one less person. So that didn't happen. What did happen? What we did see happen was him. You know, they. I don't know why 45, 47 has such a hard on for Caitlin Collins from CNN, but he does. She started to ask the question. I'm not talking to you, and shoot his hand like she was a fly. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to them, and just so ignorant and weird. And when she did a follow up question, he tells her that instead of saying, I forget his name from El Salvador, the El Salvadorian uh, sexy dictator, as he calls himself, says, "Well, I can't smuggle people into the United States. It would be wrong for me to smuggle a terrorist into the United States." And when asked, will he return the man who has been ordered out of his prison from the Supreme Court to our residing 45, 47. And to hear Pam Bimbo and Stephen Miller stand up there, and Stephen Miller to say that there was a 9-1 decision that 45, 47 won, and recategorize the 9-0 loss that they got, and try to explain to you why the 9-0 was a win for them. It's not lost on me. I don't believe that Stephen Miller is an attorney. So it wasn't lost on me that of all the people standing around in the room, the non-attorney, just happy to, and gleeful to say all this lies and wrong shit. See, but I talked about lies and liars yesterday. This beef sector is, hey, Chef Outspoken One, I appreciate you helping me get to my goals. Now, grand rising to you as well. Now, I asked about this yesterday. Are we on the cusp of, yes, we are on the cusp of people who come out and just lie freely, kind of like this administration that lies freely. They find nothing wrong with it. So that's why it's taking root so much. Grand Rising, Madison, thank you for being here. So that's why all of this lying is taking root. Now, Stephen Miller never misses the opportunity to come out and very boisterous lie to the people. Anytime that you have 9 Supreme Court judges agree on something, and you turn it around and say how you didn't lose it, but you lost the ruling, it's just mind blowing, just crazy stuff. So that is what's going on in the White House. So she asked the Gulag man, "Will you be sending him home?" And he said he couldn't smuggle in terrorists to the United States. As 4547 sits there nodding his head in agreement. So, okay, so we are clear that he does not plan, as 4547 just sits there with his hands between his legs, his 200 and what was he, why he said he weighed 245-pound legs. Okay, so at no point did he turn to him and tell him, "I need him back." At no point was there any real attempt to bring him back. But you'll be shocked to, no, you shouldn't be shocked, because people who watch my channel are not going to be shocked by a lot of this stuff that went on in the White House. What he did say on a hot mic before they sat down in front of the press, and you know that they have picked this press out of influencers and yes men, pretty much like their administration is filled with right wing enthusiasts. The My Pillow guy has a channel, and a reporter on the My Pillow guy, his channel, she is a regular person in the press pool at the White House, but the Associated Press isn't. Maybe that's not the first court ruling that they're ignoring. The Associated Press, who refused to call the Gulf of Mexico the Gulf of America, was thrown out of receiving any press briefings in the White House or at other sites where he's giving press briefings. The ruling said that while 4547 does not have to invite the Associated Press to the White House, it cannot bar him. It cannot bar them from any place that he is allowing other press to cover him based upon how he feels about what they write. So, okay, so maybe that's the first one. So while the Associated Press wasn't there, it was a gaggle of hangers-ons and do people there, and there was a hot mic. There was a hot mic moment, and in that hot mic moment, before anything started, he said, "Hey." 4547 says, "Hey, you know, what did he call? I may start sending some nationalists down there." Yeah, it seemed like a good meaning American citizens. Some what did he call this? Nationalists? I think he called us nationalists. I may start sending some nationalists down there, and the dictator. Oh, I don't know one dictator from the other one at this point. The El Salvadorian dictator told the American dictator, "Oh, well, yeah, we can make that happen." And then he's like, "Yeah, I'd like to get them down here. I'd like to get some nationalists down there. You're going to have to build about 5 more facilities." So it's interesting. It's very interesting that nobody's paying attention to this. Well, somebody's paying attention to this. Anyone who's in my chat and listening to me is up on this. I don't know, but God knows somebody else may come with morning news out of the blue. Who knows? Who knows? It's been done before. But Let's continue. Niggas ain't shit. Niggas ain't shit but hoes and tricks. Oh my god. They're dumb de dum dum. Niggas ain't shit but hoes and tricks. Hey Kings Mina. That's a song. Yes, 245 pounds. That's up from the 200 and I think they said he used to say he was 223 pounds in the 90s. Yes. Good morning to you as well, Kingsman. That man lies every time he exhales. Uh, homegrown, homegrown criminals is what he called them. Thank you. I knew it was something about, yeah, homegrown criminals. So that was caught on the mic. However, when it was caught on the mic, what did the press pool that is assembled in front of? It's kind of like that Korean channel where they show the Korean lady just spun out all the propaganda. What did the propaganda pool then do when they heard him say that he would have to create about 5 more facilities for the homegrown criminals, which means the American citizens, that he has already voiced that he would like to send to an El Salvadorian prison. Is that is that supposed to be a threat, or is that a guarantee, or is it both? The threat of the guarantee. I don't know. Okay, so we know that 4547 set his funky ass up in the White House and then signed an executive order about someone who worked in the White House under his last administration. What he was under, I can't remember. Homeland Security, I think. Don't quote me. I know that he did an executive order, and before he signed the executive order, he was told exactly what was in it, and then he started pontificating on, this is a real bad guy. You know, he said some horrible things about me. He said some bad things about me, and I don't know if people should be able to do this, but we'll find out. And you know, I think he should be looked at, and he should definitely be checked out, because what he did, I think it was treason. As he signs a executive order from someone who wrote a book about his experience in the White House, and he also signed in another executive order about someone who had the opinion, who was close to the White House, who had the opinion that he had lost the 2020 election. So, which dictator am I talking about? I'm talking about the American one. So, could he or just be using this for folly? No, I think he's very serious. Now, he has shown no willingness to do anything to obey the Supreme Court order. He says it's an international negotiation. They took it back down to the original court, and they wanted to know what they had done to get him back thus far, and what will they be doing, and if he was alive. And their response was, "We need more time. All we can tell you is they say that he's alive, and on the other stuff, they had no answer. That what they had done already. How you do not have an answer to what you have done already?" So this after the Supreme Court said that they wanted them to facilitate. So now we're discussing what facilitate means. Well, they said we had to facilitate. There's no way we can facilitate something that goes on in another country. It's beyond, and we can expedite it by us giving him a plane, but that's all we can do. And when the hot mic moment came about, why you should be frightened when that hot mic moment came about in front of a whole gaggle of press who's reporting on 45, 47. And he said that they needed to build about 5 more prisons in El Salvador for American prisoners. Why you should be scared and why you should be disgusted and frightened is the press who overheard it just giggled. As if they had just heard a fantastic little story or a story. Like they had heard a fantastic little story. Nothing that was unbelievable, but it's like, oh, I heard the hot mic moment. Hey, the Christian gentleman, Grand Rising. Grand Rising Jill's comfort zone. Thank you for being here. I don't think that man is still alive. I think they are wasting time and are going to make like another prisoner unalive him. If they don't, if he isn't already, I definitely that was I was coming up on if he's not already unalive, the final chapter to this whole thing is, well, another prisoner got to him. See, because they definitely are going to push their limits on this one, but rather than cave, that dude is over. That, in my opinion, that I definitely agree with you, Kings Mina. Okay, let me say. He has been saying he'd like to be able to deport Americans. He laughs so people would think he is joking. He is not. The El Salvadorian president gets paid for every person they take. And he is not. I don't know why people let this for-profit media lull you into, oh, well, when he says things about a third term, we don't know if he's serious or if he's actually trying to get a rise out of the left. No, he's serious. He's serious. And all of this, well, he said that he's thinking up a plan. Everywhere Steve Bannon go and talk about it, he's not laughing about it. He's not acting as if any stupid plan that you stupid press people pull out. Well, are you thinking about a third term? What are you gonna let JD Vance run and hand the reins over to you? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And now they're going with an idea that a dumb media person put out there. Another thing, he always does this. Do you plan on doing X, Y, and Z? He got the idea about holding people as terrorists who are vandalizing Tesla companies and cars. He got that from a reporter when he did that used car sales, new car sales lot in the front lawn. A reporter said, "Are you going to hold people who are vandalizing Tesla dealerships as terrorists?" Oh, you know what? I think I might. And now that's where he got the initial idea from. And now here you have this bulldog Blondie out here, and you will be happy to know that we have 3 more people that we have arrested for terrorizing Tesla dealerships, and we will go and we are going to punish them at the extreme extent of the law, and we are hoping that they get 20 years for vandalism. So if that don't scare you, if you don't have enough sense to say, wait a minute, something's wrong here. Something is terribly wrong here. So does any other vandal gets 20 years from for vandalizing a company that has insurance for said vandalism? No, that doesn't happen. But how dare you? How dare you strike the muskrat? Ronnie Q, my first time here. Greetings, Mod Chat. I am listening in. Well, welcome, the Christian gentleman. It is great. It is good to have you here. Okay, so let me see where we are. The Christian. Oh, thank you. We spoke on Sir King's platform. Decided to pay me a visit. Thank you. I appreciate it. I am here Monday through Friday. On most days, may take a Friday off, but I will alert you. I alert my people if I know I have to take a day out. Monday through Fridays, the same time, same back channel, 7 a.m. 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Times. A lot of people know this, but thank you for being here. Very Carrie, it is good to see you. I hope all is going well with you this morning, Very Carrie. And Very Carrie has said that she does not feel like doing her brain teasers. So please excuse me if my brain is a little dull. Okay. Now, I have a personal announcement. If you guys didn't go over to Jill's Comfort Zones yesterday, you can go over there and hear her complain and moan and all of this type of stuff. But I digress. No, I'm just kidding, Jill. Okay, so this month on the 25th, I am having my craft and conversations. Yes, I'm having my craft and conversations on. That is a Friday. It's going to be at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Let me remove this comment. So please join us for my crafting and conversation, where we are creating this little bench that you can put your plants or flower pots on. This is not the actual bench. I have created a few AI benches to let you know that, hey, you can use different color combinations, but this is the actual bench we will be creating. You can use any color combinations that you choose. However, let your inspiration flow for what suits your setting. So come out and create a bench with me. I have put my flyer on my community wall page. It has the list of materials that we will be using. You see right here on the top thing, that's 1 can of spray paint. This is the Home Depot prices. 1 pan. It's called 2X. It's a paint and a primer. It comes in a myriad of colors. You can use white or you can use any of the other colors. The second item is, let me remove this banner. The second item on the list is 3, what is that? 3 1x2 pieces of board at 8 feet. They are each 8 feet long. In my area, they cost $175. And you can see the whole price, the total of the things that you absolutely need is on here as well. Will add up to $23.65. While I'm not trying to break you, I am just moving forward. Also, you see on the list 3 packs of 5-gallon paint stirrers. And if you don't have any stain at home, you can find the antique wax at the Dollar Tree. It's kind of like a water-based stain, and it has the exact same appearance as stain. So if you get the 3 packs of paint stir strips, a small thing of stain, the 3 pieces of 1x2 wood, and uh, a can of spray paint, it would cost you $23. If you don't have to spray paint it. If you have paint at home, if you have exterior paint at home and already have the stain, the 2 things that you must purchase are the wood pieces. And the cutting list is on the flyer. It tells you this 8 foot piece of wood, how many 3 inches cuts you need, how many 19-inch cuts you need. Uh, Go to your Home Depot or Lowe's. They can and take your cutting list with you, and they can cut all the wood. You don't have to do any cutting of your wood. So please come out and join me, and we're going to have fun. If you know how to pre-drill a hole in wood, that is the most strenuous thing that you have to do. Pre-drilling holes, and then drilling screws in and gluing. Um, Also, at Walmart, I personally buy these little feet to go in the bottom so the wood is not touching the ground, because this is an outdoor piece for me. You can put it indoors if you want to. I buy these little feet. They come 4 in a pack, and I think they were $1.98 for the 4 pack. So come out and join us. I hope you guys come out and join me. Hey, click in the view. Oh my. Is there anything this young lady can't do? I hope you guys will join me and do it as well. It is a very easy project. So come out and join us. And if you don't join us for doing the project, just join us in the conversation as we are crafting. Ronnie Q will be selling the benches for 45 to 100. It depends on who you are. I ain't selling. You ain't nobody to me for $45. Hey, Queen Diva. No, they're not 2x4s. They're 1x2s. So they're not as heavy as a 2x4. It's a 1x2. The dimensions of the bench is 21 inches high at its highest. And let me see, it's about 21. 25 to 30 inches wide. So it's a small bench. And somebody, Foot Soldier said, can you sit on the bench, Ronnie Q? I was like, girl, if you don't get out of here, you had better. So those are the things that you definitely need. If you decide to run a piece of sandpaper over your wood to get it as smooth, it is not necessary. You don't have to. If you just want to run your ends of where your wood is cut over a sheet of sandpaper, feel free. We're going to do this, and you guys are going to be so surprised at what you can do. So come out and join me. That is on Friday, the 25th of this month, we will be doing this project. This is the actual project. This is the actual project staged. So you don't have to do it those colors. Any color that suits you, you can do. Crafting and Conversations, April 25th, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay. So let me continue with the news that you can use. Okay. Now leave Foot Soldier alone. She not here to defend herself. I'm gonna leave Foot Soldier alone. Okay, so let's get back to what I wanted to share with you guys. We are definitely going to get to this meeting that happened in the White House. So let's be clear. What makes him think that he can do this? The Supreme Court, you already made him think that he can do this. You are the reason, Supreme Court, that made him think that he can do it. Because when they came to you for what is it? Presidential powers, about presidential powers, you guys made a ruling that he could do whatever he thought was under presidential powers in a way to try to help him get out of taking all of those uh, secrets out of the White House and having them jammed up in some toilet room in Mar-a-Lago. You guys did this, and I it's not gonna bite them. It could bite them. I could see him going and having them arrested as well. I can definitely see him dragging the military. That's what dictators do. They drag people of power out to gulag prisons who are against them, who actually have the audacity to say that they are doing something wrong against the Constitution of their country, or just something unfathomable that they know is illegal. They'll haul them away as well. So I think that's where we are right now, and I'm just being quite I'm being serious that um, they are trying so many different ways not to say, hey, we're going to hold you in contempt. Of all the courts that he's gone to, he has been in contempt of court at the first court, while he was given a couple of days to obey the order to bring the man back. He took it to a higher court, the district. I think I forget what district court it was, but the higher court. He appealed the ruling, and he was told by a 3-judge panel that he must bring them back. 2 of the 3 judge, one is a idiot conservative who didn't agree, but nonetheless, 2 out of 3 meant you had to bring him back. And then instead of bringing him back under those judges' orders, what did he do? He appealed it to the Supreme Court. Now, the Supreme Court took this case. I don't understand what these justices on these courts think is going to happen. I don't know what they thought was going to happen when it was argued in the case about presidential powers. What did they think? When one of the arguments that 4547's lawyer described as being okay if a president decided to go after one of their political opponents and snuff them out as an argument. And they actually delved into that argument. If you are a regular follower of me, I actually played that part of this Supreme Court argument because I was so disgusted at the fact that they ruled in 45-47's favor. This is nothing new over here on my channel. Uh, th- this is nothing new. Uh, so let's continue. I have a couple of things I want to share with you. Ronnie Q, did Very Carey time her butt out? Am I timed out? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Oh, I thought you meant that you didn't have no sound. Somebody in here said something in Renee. Oh, that's a question. Can you guys hear me? Yeah, you can hear me. I see my bubble. Oh, you had stepped away. Okay, I was like, wait a minute. I saw that comment. Okay, so this, let's start. Let's start the show. Okay, let me share with you a couple of things that I have pinned. Now, this is the first one, a fumble on the play. Oh, we're going to get in with our early morning buffoon. We know that uh, the white nationalist, in my opinion, since he follows so many white nationalists allegedly on X, but the person who showed all of these white nationalists that he follows on X, they took his video down off of TikTok. So we do know that he's a astute Curtis Yarvin fan, the one who said the Holocaust did not happen and that we should get used to the word dictator here in the United States and just think of it as the United States being run as a company, and there's always a one person in charge, the CEO as such. You have no problem with that. So you guys in the United States, this is who your vice president, that J.D. Vance is following and always expounding on the greatness of his thinking. Okay, so let me share this with you right quick. The college football, I don't know what they, I guess it's the NCC. I don't know if that's basketball. I don't know. The college football championships are from Ohio. So is Vance. He is also from Ohio. So Vance shows up in Ohio. Wait a minute, I'm sharing the wrong link. So Vance shows up. The football team shows up at the White House because they invite any sports team to come to the White House, and since Junior Dunks Vance is from Ohio as well. They said, "Hey, well, why don't you give them their trophy?" So let's see how that worked out for them. No volume for me. Bumbling idiot. Okay, so there's J.D. Vance scuffing up their hard fought for trophy as Trump stands to the side, kind of pissed off, I'd say. Let me see if I can get to the full view. Maybe not. I can't get to the full view, but trust me, 45, 47 was over there, kind of pissed off. Hey, Kimberly Black, Grand Rising. Hey, Ray Black, Grand Rising. Good to see you. Okay. Good thing that brother had sense to hold the gold part. Yeah. So, yeah, that's your administration at work. I definitely agree with you there. So, his hands must have been greasy. Everything else about him is greasy, so I can imagine that the hands were greasy as well. Okay, so that was my little uh, ease into the moment segment. So let's, if you guys didn't hear what I was talking about, that the gloves are off. 45, 47. Entertain a whole dictator and let the dictator tell you that he is not sending that prisoner back. He has been told by every level of judge that what he is doing, and all 9 of the Supreme Court justices who created this monster, in my opinion, he's not bringing this prisoner back. So my first video is called Idol Worship. So okay. Yeah, idol worship. Let me share this video with you. Here we go.
Refusing to comply with the Supreme Court's unanimous. The Trump regime is refusing to comply with the Supreme Court's unanimous 9-0 ruling, ordering them to return Abrego Garcia, a migrant with protected status who the Trump regime kidnapped from Maryland and put in a gulag in El Salvador. In fact, the Trump regime has been pretending that they actually won the Supreme Court ruling when they lost 9-0. And relatedly, the Trump regime rolled out the red carpet earlier today for El Salvador's authoritarian leader, Nayib Bukele. Trump was on a
Bukele. I couldn't think of his name. Naive. He's not naive by far. Okay, so let's see some of this beautiful bean footage, shall we? Let's watch together.
101. Let's play it.
How can I smuggle a terrorist into the United States? I don't have the power to return him to the United States.
So you can release him inside El Salvador?
Yeah, but I'm not releasing, we're not very fond of releasing terrorists into our country. We just turned the murder capital of the world into the safest country of the Western Hemisphere, and you want us to go back into the releasing criminals so we can go back to being the murder capital of the world?
So what the reporter, he said, I can't release smuggle a terrorist to the United States. And he said, hey, well, you can release him on your land. Oh, I can't. I just made the worst country in the Western Hemisphere safe. I won't release him on my land either. Bullshit. A whole lot of bullshit. And what do you see 45, 47 acting as if, well, I really need him back because it was our fuck up. No, you just see him sitting up there with a smirk on his orange face.
The world, that's not going to happen.
Well, they'd love to have a criminal, released into
there's
Oh, I forgot that little caveat. He's talking. They'd love to have a criminal release. He's talking about the press. The press would love to have criminals relief. He said to Caitlin Collins when he answered one of her questions, well, go ahead and ask a question. You're a failed reporter from a failed news organization or some shit. Oh, speaking of news organization, another thing that should let you understand that this is a straight up dictator, that they did 2 stories on 60 Minutes on Sunday, and he has sicked the Department of Justice on 60 Minutes because he didn't like what they said. Are you clear on this? But what they said was they're reporting on him. What they were talking about was him in two stories. And because he didn't like what they said, he has sicked the Department of Justice on CBS and his FCC. I didn't know that I thought that these were independent agencies. But he wants the FCC to take their licenses and all of this. Just a whole fool running out here. And he's no longer trying to hide it either. So what did they have in store? Let's go back to the Ariana Presley asking what was the fourth rail of Project 2025 that they are trying to keep secret. It seems like the secret is out. They have already set up a way for him to declare martial law against protesters. You saw all that shit that went on the weekend before last. You already saw him declare a emergency on the border, which will allow him to enact the Aliens Enemy Act, which you think they just want you to think that, hey, that's just so we can get these undocumented people out of here. No, but that what that also does is it allows our military to be set loose on our soil. Okay, so I showed you all the Project 2025 information, the secret tapes and all of this. It's all coming together. Now back to Ayanna Presley. She wanted to know what was the fourth tier that they were keeping a secret. In the footage that I showed you where the guy admitted that they wanted to be unfoyable so that people in the media or the public would be able to request a FOIA information. No, they didn't want any of this to get out. They refused to put it in manuals. They refused to put it in emails. This is exactly what she was questioning him about. What is the fourth rail that you guys plan to put in place in the United States in the first 180 days of the next conservative presidency? And they refused to answer. So I think that we are well on our way. I showed you the article where the architect of Project 2025 said that he couldn't imagine it going any more smoother than what is going. I showed you the story that Rachel Maddow did, blowing the lid off of the fact that they had planned to take away all phone services from Social Security. And then when that story blew up and people got all up in arms about it, they was like, oh no, well, we're not going to do that with the phone services. And what have they done with this phone service? Exactly that. They still have the phone service, but you can't get through because they have unmanned the phone services. So you're supposed to sit up on hold. People are sitting on hold for 5 to 8 hours only to be hung up on. So they're trying. And the actual fact that they said that they were going to have people to go into Social Security to prove this and to prove that and to drop documents if they couldn't do it online. Old people trying to do their documents online. That should be interesting. But they didn't grow old people of the future would probably have no problem doing it. But people who didn't grow up in the computer era, I'm sure that they'll have problems. But you notice how they just took away the phone lines anyway? They took them away by having them unmanned and unstaffed. And you notice how they don't say that you have to approve at a Social Security agency. These agencies that they're closing and shuttering because they wanted you to be okay. Listen, don't worry about it. All of your Social Security updates and letters, you will not receive them in mail anymore. You will have to go to X. Why do you have to go to X to get a update about a government agency that has absolutely nothing to do with this private company? So why is the private company in their own, they have their own X page and telling you, hey, you will be updated here. But when the person in the actual Social Security Administration let you guys know that, they fired that person. They and then they came back on X and said that what that person said was not true, only to put out an announcement that you will, in fact, be getting your Social Security information here on X, as in all of the other places they claim. You know, pretty much how they said that they weren't going to fuck with the phone service. So, listen. Why you got to do anything with a government agency and being updated by X, whose owner said that Social Security was the biggest Ponzi scheme that he's ever seen? I guess he doesn't look in the mirror. I guess there's no mirror in the vicinities. Are there mirrors even on Teslas? I guess he hasn't looked in the mirror as he continues to gobble up government contracts. Okay. Bench Thinker Grand Rising to you as well. My 92-year-old mom's health insurance was canceled for non-payment. I took her to the office with her bank statements of receipts. She was refused service. Wait a minute. My 92-year-old mom's health insurance was canceled for non-payment. I took her to the office with her bank statements of receipts. And she was, wait a minute. Is your mother 92 years old? Is she on regular insurance, or is she on Medicare with a Medicare Advance private insurer? I'm trying to understand. She was informed appointment only. We get home and Homeland Security was leaving her home. Ben's, your mom being 92 is a blessing. No private insurance. That's weird. That's crazy. Did you have any contact with them, or you had just missed them? That's crazy. Homeland Security for what? Okay, so that's all I got is it is private insurance. Maybe he's Ben's Thinker is typing more. Oh. That idiot is going to mess with things we have. And You know that that's one of the things that kind of sparked up with that United Healthcare CEO being unalived. That's why I was asking if it was that insurance, because he was actually over the Medicare Advantage, which was yanking, doing over a whole lot of seniors. My dad was home. They have owned their home for 35 years. 10, 10 investigators. Wow. Wow. So, and it sounds like you never got your mother's health insurance reinstated on top of it. I mean, she definitely needs her health insurance. Goodness. Now that's crazy. So if she has a health issue in between now and if and when her insurance is reinstated, let me. Your parents own their home for 30 years. Is it in a possibly desirable area? I know that a lot of homeowners. I played the video. You may not even know it's desired for certain things. Like they bought up a few acres in where it was that in Atlanta for the Meta data mining AI business to house their computers, and then they kept buying up more and more and more and more land. You never know. What is the? Are they trying to make sure that your parents have to sell off their property? Because God knows if she has a health event, that's the first. And with it being private insurance, they're going to be like, okay, well, you got to sell your assets to pay these doctor bills. Remember the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, which they shuttered, was the bureau that protected people from losing everything via having to pay doctor bills and your doctor bills being put on your credit. So that's why these people are important. I'm not getting anything more from Bitch Thinker on that. She surely do. We need our health insurance. Yes, we do. And I'm just trying to figure out what Homeland Security doing there. So are they? What are they trying to do? I guess they think that these old people don't have anybody to support them. Oh, no problem. So I'm trying to figure out. You guys better check on all of their information. I know that in certain states they are going in and changing people's. Atlanta has a big problem of it. People going in and changing their mortgage into someone else's name, and the person who's going in to do it is not the owner of the home. So it seems like they are targeting your parents for some reason. I'm not going to ask you any personal information about, well, what did they want? But I stay on top of that. Stay on top of that. I haven't heard of that happening to anyone else, so I don't know what to suggest to you. Hey, Happy Life, Grand Rising. Homeland Security have their hands in a number of different things. Look them up. It's definitely 2075, 2073. That's my siblings and I are checking now. They claim a Mexican lived with them. Oh. But so the Department of Homeland Security is claiming that a Mexican lived with your parents. You better be careful. They'll listen. I wouldn't put nothing past this administration. Now, my title, is it 2073 already? If you guys, Homeland Security is going to be worse in the future. If you guys haven't watched on HBO Max the movie 2073, that's why I asked, are we in 2073 already? Because that picture was mind-blowing for me. It showed how different countries and nations fell under a authoritarian government, under dictators, how what happened in these different countries to make them fall under dictators. So the part that I didn't understand was, I knew that they had a lot of Asians who were Muslims, and how China went in, and oh my God, this was actual footage of the stuff that they were doing to these Asian Muslims, and they only had one choice, but to become a Chinese citizen or meet their maker. Horrible stuff, but actual real stuff. And if you look at what's going on in America now, the boldness of this man to come out with all of this propaganda, the lies that they freely tell, the sycophants that they have representing a press corps that would actually laugh when the 4547 says that another dictator needs to build about 5 more facilities so he can send Americans to these gulag prisons. And this what they call press corps just laugh and giggles like, oh, isn't that sweet? Hey, Z Sarah, grand rising to you as well. Okay, so I don't think this is the one. I really want to start it with the whole conversation. So now they're going to read, since Stephen Miller pretended as if this 9-0 ruling was a win for 45-47, they're going to actually read what the ruling was. We're going to be clear. I know it's going to be a lot of people out there. All they have to do is say it once, twice, or 3 times, and then you're going to have people out here repeating that 45-47 actually won this. So they're going to read the ruling right here. I knew it was something.
If you have arthritis and wonder what food could be...
That's this commercial real quick. And let's see what the ruling actually said.
Is a image and a message that is, something that I think still needs to even be processed how bad it is. Let me just read from the Supreme Court ruling so people can know what the Supreme Court actually said. So the Supreme Court said, the district court's order properly requires the government to facilitate Abrego Garcia's release from custody in El Salvador and to ensure that this case is handled as it would have been had he not been improperly sent to El Salvador. That's the 9-0. Had he not been improperly sent to El Salvador. Okay. Now, the Supreme Court does go on to say the intended scope of the term effectuate in the district court's order is, however, unclear and may exceed the district court's authority. The district court should clarify its directive with due regard for the deference owed to the executive branch and the conduct of foreign affairs. For its part,
The district court is the court that has already also ruled that he must get him back to America. There was one word, facilitate, or no, it wasn't facilitate. There was one word that they wanted to be clear that they had the same read on. That's what this is about, where they say that the district court, who has also said that they must bring him back. So that's what he's reading right now. That's what this little portion is about. I mean,
government should be prepared to share what it can concerning the steps it has taken and the prospect of further steps. The order heretofore entered by the Chief Justice is vacated. So the Trump regime reads that last part as saying, we've taken all the steps. We asked Bukele, and Bukele says, nope. So now there's nothing we can do. So you can't force us to do anything. That is it. Let me read you the opinion that is by the 3 liberal justices who agree with the disposition of the Supreme Court's ruling, saying, facilitate the return and treat Abrego had he not been improperly sent to an extermination camp in El Salvador. Let me read for you just how powerful this language is. It says, the United States government arrested Abrego Garcia in Maryland and flew him to a, quote, terrorism confinement center in El Salvador, where he has been detained for 26 days and counting. To this day, the government has cited no basis in law for Abrego Garcia's warrantless arrest, his removal to El Salvador, or his confinement in a Salvadoran prison, nor could it. The government remains bound by an immigration judge's 2019 order expressly prohibiting Garcia's removal to El Salvador because he faced a clear probability of future prosecution there and demonstrated that El Salvador's authorities were and would be unwilling to protect him. The government has not challenged the validity of that order. Instead of hastening to correct its egregious error, the government dismissed it as an oversight. The government now requests an order from the court permitting it to leave Abrego Garcia, a husband and father, without a criminal record in a Salvadoran prison for no reason recognized by law. The only argument the government offers in support of its request is that the United States courts cannot grant relief once a deportee crosses the border, and that is plainly wrong. The government, moreover, implies that it could deport and incarcerate any person, including U.S. citizens, without a legal consequence, so long as it does so before a court can intervene. Because every factor governing requests for equitable relief manifestly weigh against the government, I would have declined to intervene in this litigation at all and denied the application in full. Nevertheless, I agree with the court's order that the proper remedy is to provide Abrego Garcia with all the process to which he would have been entitled had he not been unlawfully removed to El Salvador. That means the government must comply with its obligation to provide Abrego Garcia with, quote, due process of law, including notices and an opportunity to be heard in any future proceedings. It must also comply with its obligations under the Convention Against Torture. Does that sound like a 9-0 opinion that Trump won? I just read from you what the Supreme Court ruled. And Brett, just and then actually we then learned that there's still 25% tariffs on Mexico and Canada, even though they were
and I apologize, 2 judges, Pam Bondi is saying that have already ruled that he is in the United States illegally prior to them picking him up. That's a lie. And the other lie that they're saying is that he is a convicted gang member. That is also a lie. He has no arrest. I'm just saying. With our history, if we are Black Americans, our history as Black Americans have already proven to us that there are a lot of innocent people in jail. Look at all the exonerations of people who have been in their tens of years, 20, 30, 40, 60 years. Have been exonerated as free. How do you get these years back? You don't get them back. But these gulag prisons, they are never expected to leave these prisons. Now, I forget what there is a media outlet that investigated all the names of the people that they have over in these prisons, and they're saying between 75 and 90% of those people have no arrest in the United States or in their home countries. And the government hasn't charged them with anything. There are no charges against these. These are the most and all of this drama coming from Pam Bondi. We will get the worst of the worst out of here. These are the worst of the worst, and they can't tell you anything about any of these people's criminal record. So you gotta give this the side eye. Grand Rising, Liz. Glad to see you. We know we can't trust the government, but now more than ever, I concur. Now, I want to share, I'm going to stop sharing that with you because I want to take it from Rachel Maddow. She's going to play all of the things that they are sitting in this White House lying about, straight up lying. There was no judge. There was a judge who put a protection order that he could not be deported. And then Stephen Miller said that it doesn't matter if you I don't think Stephen Miller is an attorney. I don't think he's an attorney. But I'm thinking that he's acting as the attorney because they know that he is just a fool enough to make these foolish arguments as if they're facts. He said that it doesn't matter if they bring him back. They would just deport him somewhere else when he has a protection order from being deported. So why, if you picked him up by mistake, and you knew that he had a protection order, so you should have just let him go. But no, you just didn't do that because you guys are too lazy to go out and actually find all of these disgusting and criminal people, all of these gang members. You guys are too lazy to do any of that. So what do? You stop them. You dismantle their Social Security card, which means these people are going to work under that special work visa or whatever, not a visa, under that carve out that Biden gave these people to be able to go to work. So instead of going out on the street and finding these criminals, you report them all dead who are using those special Social Security cards, and then you're going to hunt them out because you have their information based upon their work history. But and then you are saying these are the worst of the worst. Well, what about the young lady? This one. What about that one? And we're picking up no. You're picking up people who were in America who was working. You're going through databases, trying to get the IRS to give you the names of undocumented people. That's what you're doing. You're not doing your job. Where's the Elon Musk ought to get on ICE because they surely are not out there doing what they should be doing in capturing the worst of the worst. Okay, so let me share. Yes, let me share this one with you. Okay. Let me see what you guys are saying. Grand Rising, LaShonda Allen. Okay, so let's all of this now, all of the totality of the hot mic and everything, and what Stephen Miller said. That's why I wanted to play this one because it has more of how that White House. I'm putting in quotations. Press junket went. Okay, so let's check this out.
A little hard to hear, but if you listen closely, you can just make out. Okay, the tape is a little hard to hear, but if you listen closely, you can just make out what the president is saying as he enters the Oval Office today with the president of El Salvador.
Criminals next. Yeah, I said homegrowns are next. The homegrowns built. You got to build about 5 more places. Yeah, that's fair. All right.
Laughter all around. That was Donald Trump today talking to the president of El Salvador, a man who calls himself the world's coolest dictator. And you could hear there what sounded like Trump promising that he's about to send to a prison in El Salvador the, quote, homegrowns, meaning U.S. citizens. He says homegrowns are next. You're going to need to build about 5 new places. The Trump administration has flown hundreds of non-U.S. citizens to this foreign prison in El Salvador already, including 10 more that they flew there this weekend. Even though the U.S. government has sent these people to this prison, the Trump administration says they have no protection under U.S. law there, that this facility doesn't answer to U.S. courts. The people sent there are just gone. They're sent into that prison maybe forever with no way to be heard, no way to contest whatever the designation was that got the U.S. government to send them there. Certainly no way to get out, ever. Are homegrowns really next? Would the American president send American citizens to indefinite, totally lawless, apparently permanent imprisonment in El Salvador as well? Is he open to that? Apparently, yes, he is.
Hi, I'm Brett.
And I'm Jonathan.
This is Darla.
And this is Buddy.
We're the founders of the Farmer's Dog.
We've made an entirely new way to feed your dog.
It all started with my first dog, Jada. I got Jada.
If it's a homegrown criminal, I have no problem. Now, we're studying the laws right now. Pam is studying. If we can do that, that's good. And
if we can do that, that's good. Pam, meaning Pam Bondi, the Attorney General. So he wants to send American citizens to foreign prisons where U.S. legal protections don't apply at all, where people can be held for the rest of their lives without ever having a day in court or any sort of process. He says Attorney General Pam Bondi is, quote, studying the laws right now to see if he really could do it.
Okay, so we got the bimbo Pam studying laws right now. So do you think Pam is going to find a go around to allow American citizens to be held in that prison? Of course she is, because if that's what he wants, she will be the one who will find a way to get it done. Let's not forget Pam Bondi was the one who so many people in Florida went to when she was the attorney general in Florida, and so many people who had gotten robbed by 4547 College, and she had taken their case, and she was she was looking into filing a case against Trump College, and then mysteriously she received a $25,000 donation from his nonprofit charitable organization to help with her re-election. And Ivanka Trump allegedly gave her $25,000 also. And then she decided to not go ahead with the cases against 4547 about that Trump college fiasco. However, other states, she was going to join in with other states. I think it was New Jersey was one of the states. But then she had a change of heart, and it was like, people in Florida who's getting fucked over by going to this nothing for-profit fake college. I can't do anything for you. I gotta go shopping. I got some shopping to do. I ain't got no time to be up in no courtroom. So this is just me. That's just that's just how I'm thinking it went down. Anyway, the other states did go forward with their cases and won them. So she had a winnable case. And so you think that she's going to do whatever he says she needs to do? So, all of these people are blackmailable, which means they can be blackmailed. So, of course, she's going to find whatever he wants her to find. Anytime Stephen Miller just stood up there and, we haven't gotten to that point. Let's see. Let's go ahead.
Do it because he'd love to do it. It was only last week on Thursday when the Supreme Court ruled unanimously 9-0 in favor of a man named Kilmar Abrego Garcia. He's a legal resident. He's a Maryland father. The Trump administration admits they sent him to that prison in El Salvador by mistake. The Supreme Court effectively ordered the Trump administration to facilitate this man's return to the U.S. from that El Salvadoran prison without explicitly defining what that would look like. The Trump administration has insisted that they can't return him, and they don't intend to. They said that the man's fate is up to the president of El Salvador for some reason. Today in the Oval Office, it was a reporter who finally asked El Salvador's president if he would please return this man to the United States. The El Salvadoran president called the question, quote, preposterous. Of course he wouldn't. So we have here a constitutional nightmare, a legal nightmare, obviously a moral nightmare. Cheryl Eiffel is the former president of the NAACP Legal Defense Fund. She has been sounding the alarm about this. She has argued that Trump will start testing constitutional limits by trying to deport U.S. citizens from American prisons to places like El Salvador, and that Americans, in order to stop that slippery slope where it is, must take on the challenge of caring about and standing up for U.S. prisoners. Quote, many of us have been working on how to legally head off this nightmare, but public outcry and support will be essential. Are you ready to march for the most despised members of our society? Will you call your representatives about those who are imprisoned? If you can't feel for them or their families, remember that this is just a stage in a plan that will land ultimately at our own doorsteps. Every one of us deemed inconvenient by this administration will be under threat. And every time Trump is successful, he grows more emboldened and more convinced that nothing can stop him. Joining us now is Sherrilyn Ifill. She's the Vernon E. Jordan Jr. Distinguished Chair in Civil Rights at Howard Law School. Ms. Ifill, it's been too long. Thank you so much for being here tonight. It's an honor to have you with us.
Thank you, Rachel.
You wrote this piece over the weekend, sort of sounding the alarm. He's talking about U.S. citizens. He's talking about U.S. citizens. This is a constitutional end. This is an end of constitutional protections in the United States in a really fundamental way. That was before today's Oval Office meeting, where the president very cheerfully confirmed that, oh yes, he's talking about doing this to U.S. citizens too. Is the president actually moving faster than you thought he might? Are you at least pleased that the American public have to see this as clearly now as you have been?
Yes, and I very much thank you for this conversation tonight, Rachel. I've been sounding the alarm because Trump has been saying it over and over. In fact, he started out when his family first met with the president of El Salvador a couple of months ago. And he said then that the president of El Salvador was interested in housing U.S. prisoners. He said it again the other night as he was exiting or entering his plane. I don't remember which one it was, where he talked about this again. He said, you know, for our worst of the worst, people who knock old ladies over the head, people who push people in front of subway trains, or if you had a bad judge and a bad prosecutor who didn't do the case right because they only care about politics. He's been repeating this over and over again. He tweeted that he can't wait to see people who attack Teslas face incarceration in El Salvadoran prisons. And by now we know Trump a little bit. We know that when he keeps saying something over and over again, he is not joking. We know that he is incapable of holding his cards close to his chest when they are having discussions about these things. And we've seen two new reports. One was in Politico this weekend about plans. One is Stephen Miller's plan to do a mass denaturalization of naturalized U.S. citizens who are incarcerated. We saw, can you believe it, the name Eric Prince again, who apparently is involved in an effort to use private prisons in El Salvador and in other countries, with the U.S. perhaps entering into a treaty of cession, something I really think about when I think about maybe getting Alaska from Russia, a treaty of cession so that the U.S. would control the territory in that country, and therefore there could be no claim that U.S. citizens were being moved off of U.S. soil. It's crazy and diabolical, but it's real.
When Attorney General Pam Bondi does this studying, as the president said today, when she looks into the legality of this, which the president continually says he doesn't understand, doesn't really care about, wants to find out whether or not it's legal, it's being looked into. What is she going to find when she looks into U.S. case law and constitutional protections to find whether or not this is something that they could legally do?
Well, it's a strange thing. If she didn't find the Fifth Amendment that says every person in the United States, person, not citizen, is entitled to due process of law, cannot be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process, which should have stopped the deportation of Mr. Abregu Garcia and others who received no due process. I'm not sure what she's likely to find with this look. I think there are two things to think about here. One is that, as almost everyone knows, there are nearly 2 million people incarcerated in the United States. Most of them are in state prisons, not in federal prison. The person who assaulted the old lady is most likely not in federal prison. There are about 200,000 people in our federal prisons. So I'm not sure the population that Trump is looking at, if it is the state prison population, that creates complications for him. And in any case, we have a constitution that prevents cruel and unusual punishment, sending folks here who are incarcerated to what has been identified as a torture prison, as a prison that the warden of CICOT in El Salvador said is the prison no one ever leaves. That is simply a violation of the constitutional rights of prisoners. Prisoners who are citizens of this country are United States citizens, and they have the rights of citizens. And so I don't have any faith that Pam Bondi will, in her research, will feel bound by that. But that is the state.
Okay, so I wanted to share that with you. Do you think that Americans even have the capacity to protest people who are already in jail from going? I don't think that some Americans have the capacity because there's such a fever for the law is for the lawless, and we are look at some of the prisons and jails that people are languishing in right now that get unrecognized, about the human rights violation. It's a business deal. Yeah. Sounds and looks like a deal to me. So let me, I thought that Rachel Maddow showed the whole little White House setup. So here it is right here. I definitely want you guys to see this. Here it is, right here. Let's look at how Trump demeans people in the press who are asking questions. Let's take it all in.
Let's hear the question from this very low-rated anchor at CBS.
Let's hear the questions from this very low-rated anchor. What a way to start questions.
Let's hear the question from this very low-rated anchor at CBS.
Thank you, President. Do you plan to ask President Bukele to help return the man who your administration says was mistakenly deported? The man who was mistakenly deported to El Salvador?
Well, let me ask Pam, would you answer that question?
Sure, President. First and foremost, he was illegally in our country. He had been illegally in our country. And in 2019, two courts, an immigration court and an appellate immigration court, ruled that he was a member of MS-13 and he was illegally in our country. Right now, it was a paper.
Okay, she's lying. It was alleged by one person. What these immigration judge had ruled is that they could not solely go on the word of one person, and the state brought nothing to try to make you believe that this one person was credible. So therefore, they did not rule that he was in a gang. She's lying. Another thing, she's not telling you what that immigration judge said was he could not be deported, and he gave him a stay in the United States. She's not telling you this, but it sounds good. She sounds so ridiculous with these lies. But we're not done. Let's hear from Stephen Miller, too.
Paperwork, it was additional paperwork had needed to be done. That's up to El Salvador if they want to return him. That's not.
Now, she said that it was he was sent there because of paperwork. Additional paperwork needed to be done. No, you sent him there even though he had the paperwork from the judge. You've already said you sent him there by mistake. Now you're saying that the only mistake was more paperwork on him needed to be done. Bitch, which one is it? The fuck out of my face. This bitch sound crazy. They already said they sent him there by mistake. Let's hear what she's trying to say, what the mistake was. Just more paperwork needed to be done. Just a liar. And these are the people in your government who can possibly take you to prison at any moment.
Be done. That's up to El Salvador in our country. Right now, it was additional paperwork had needed to be done. That's up to El Salvador if they want to return him. That's not up to us. The Supreme Court ruled, President, that if, as El Salvador wants to return him, this is international matters, foreign affairs. If they wanted to return him, we would facilitate it, meaning provide a plane.
Can President Bukele weigh in on this? Do you plan to return him?
Well, I'm supposed to not suggesting that I smuggle terrorists into the United States, right? How can I return him to the United States? Like, I smuggle him into the United States, or what do I do? Of course, I'm not going to do it. It's like, the question is preposterous. How can I smuggle a terrorist into the United States. I don't have the power to return him to the United States.
But you could release him inside El Salvador.
Yeah, but I'm not releasing. I mean, we're not very fond of releasing terrorists into our country. I mean, we just turned the murder capital of the world into the safest country of the Western Hemisphere, and you want us to go back into the releasing criminals so we can go back to being the murder capital of the world? No, that's not going to happen.
Well, they'd love to have a criminal,
Yeah,
released.
I mean, there's a fascination.
They would love it.
Yeah.
No, I would love you. I would love you to ask him to release. Since I'm paying you $6 million to keep all the people that I sent you, this is one less. Look at it as you're getting a deal. It's one less person you have to take care of. No, he's sitting up there talking about the press would like to see this, that, and the other. Let's go back a little bit.
I mean, there's a fascination.
They would love it.
Yeah.
They're sick. These are sick people.
Now, they would love it. They're asking him legitimate questions, and they would love it. And he's saying, "I can't release a terrorist." Who said? Who said he was a terrorist? Who said he was a terrorist? A whole false pretense of answering a simple question. I can't release terrorists back into the country. I can't release them in my country. No. And then 4547 says they would like you to do that. These are very sick people over here. The irony that you are listening to these two sick people with this thin ass, flimsy ass, nonsensical ass response about why they are continuing to keep him against a 3-judge panel, a 9-judge panel, and a 1-judge panel. 13 judges has said bring him home. And this is their thin argument. I think let me see if the Stephen Miller part of it all, because he just totally disgusted me with his ramblings. Oh, yes. Now let's hear. Now you heard the.
Promise you, if he was your neighbor, you would move right away.
You heard the actual ruling from the 9-panel Supreme Court judge. The reason why he felt it necessary to let you hear the actual ruling is because of Stephen Miller. This is how he tried to frame the 9-0 loss that 45-47 took from the Supreme Court. He tried to frame it as a win. Let's hear how he put this.
As to how far these people are willing to go to lie. Listen to Stephen Miller here.
Promise you, if he was your neighbor, you would move right away.
So you don't plan to ask for anything to get it back?
And what was the ruling in the Supreme Court, Steve? Was it 9-0?
Yes, it was a 9-0
in our favor.
In our favor, against the district court ruling, saying that no district court has the power to compel the foreign policy function of the United States. As Pam said, the ruling solely stated that if this individual at El Salvador's sole discretion was sent back to our country, that we could deport him a second time.
Well,
no version of this legally ends up with him ever living here because he is a citizen of El Salvador. That is the president of El Salvador. Your questions about it per the court can only be directed to him.
Wow, 9-0 in Trump's favor. Sounds good, right? And sure, maybe on Earth 2 it is, but back here on Earth 1, the Supreme Court ruled 9-0 against the Trump administration, ordering Garcia's return to the United States because he was not afforded due process, period.
And they said that he could not be deported back to his nation because he was being sought after and they were watching his mother. That's the reason why he got to stay in America. So you hear Stephen Miller saying he's a Venezuelan and he has to go back to Venezuela. Okay, so they've already ruled that he can't go back there. So no matter what it is, we're going to deport him somewhere. None of this shit was in the rulings. A bunch of BS. Let's continue. Let me see if there's any more of this buffoon sitting up here lying. I don't even want to think I want to go there with her. Okay.
In fact, here's a Fox News headline, if that's what you need, proving as much. Maryland immigrant wrongly deported to El Salvador must return to U.S. Supreme Court rules. So I understand that Trump and his sycophants like Stephen Miller want to try and manifest a reality that is more politically convenient for them. But as the great conservative philosopher Ben Shapiro once said, facts don't care about your feelings. Granted, Republicans know that they are defying the law, and so this exact brand of bad faith posturing is what
and
they're
as
left
the great Ronnie Q says, fuck your feelings. Okay, so now I wish another country would step in and take him. Fuck the U.S. But the thing is, I don't think that he. I forget who said it earlier. I don't think he's going to survive this. I really don't. If push comes to shove, they're going to say, oh, unfortunately, something happened to him 5 minutes ago. I really do. And don't think that they wouldn't do it themselves. Okay. I don't think that they would not do it themselves, just to make a point and that we are not bringing them back. Okay, so Adam Schiff has come out with a statement about this. Let's see what Adam Schiff is talking about. I think this is the one. Let me make sure. Oh, no, this isn't the one.
The constitutional crisis is here, and we saw it.
Hold on. This is the one right here. I was like, what is that? Okay, here we go.
The constitutional crisis is here, and we saw it take place inside the Oval Office in a meeting between Donald Trump and the president of El Salvador. Here's the president of El Salvador saying that he will not return a man named Kilmar Abrego Garcia, wrongfully sent out of the United States in violation of a court order.
Do you plan to return him?
Well, I'm supposed to be suggesting that I smuggle a terrorist into the United States, right?
It's always
how can I return him to the United States? Like, I smuggle him into the United States, or what? Of course, I'm not going to do it. It's like, I mean, the question is preposterous.
That's right. He says it's preposterous to suggest that he could return a man that was wrongfully sent to his country and is now languishing in a maximum security prison. But more important than what Mr. Bukele said is what Donald Trump said. Here's Donald Trump in that meeting.
Yeah, I said homegrown's the next. The homegrown's built. You got to build about 5 more places.
Yeah. So that's right. There's Donald Trump saying, we want to send you more people. In fact, we want to send you homegrown people. We want to send you American citizens for you to imprison in maximum security prison in El Salvador. So why is this a constitutional crisis? It is a constitutional crisis because the administration is under a court order to return this wrongfully deported man to the United States to facilitate his return. And far from taking any step to facilitate his return, in that meeting in the White House, Donald Trump essentially told the Supreme Court to pound sand. Because far from what he says is what he doesn't say. And that is nowhere in that entire meeting does the President of the United States ask the President of El Salvador to return the man wrongly sent to a maximum security prison in his country. It just never happens. So let me give you a quick nutshell on this case. Let me give you a quick reminder of what this case is about. So the administration grabs this guy off the street, Kilmar Abrego Garcia. He is from El Salvador originally. He came to this country illegally, but a court found that if he were returned, he might be the victim of gang violence. So there was a temporary order not to deport him. In violation of that order, they deported him anyway. The Trump administration has said this was a mistake. They called it a clerical error, as if they were ordering too many staples. But they've acknowledged that this was a mistake and illegal. Nevertheless, you have some administration.
And now you see Pam Bondi sat up there and tried to change the mistake into we just needed to fill out more papers, as if he was going to go anywhere. Anyway. So you see how these people lie in your face, and you're supposed to take this administration seriously, but you better take the bullshit that they are pulling seriously, because he has control of the whole Department of Justice, and he has whole control of our military forces. And who is over our military forces? Another sycophant who will do anything that he's told so he can go back to his bottle and bitches. Okay, let's continue.
Administration figures even today lying about it. Here's Stephen Miller.
He was not, no, Bill's important. He was not mistakenly sent to El Salvador.
So do you still
He's an
believe he
illegal
is a
alien
member of
from
MS?
El Salvador.
But that's just wrong. Some of the highest lawyers in the Justice Department have acknowledged to the court they illegally sent this person out of the country by error. So the district court in this case said you need to
I just really need to know, what is this dude on? What is this dude on? He is always talking all of this just blatant lies, and he's always yelling and screaming them at the top of his head. Like, the louder I say the lie, the more I talk over you, I'm right. Having whole temper tantrums, always having temper tantrums. He is a joke.
to rectify this by facilitating and effectuating his return. The Justice Department appeals that all the way to the Supreme Court, saying we have no such obligation. This is the president's sole power to conduct foreign policy. We don't control what El Salvador's, we're powerless. And what's more, we're not even going to tell you about these negotiations with El Salvador because they're covered by state secrets. The Supreme Court, in a 9-0 opinion, says that the lower court was right to order the administration to facilitate his return. But it's unclear what the district court meant about effectuate. And the Supreme Court says we're sending it back to the district court to decide how to effectuate this, given that the court can't trample the administration's power over foreign policy. Now, in that Supreme Court opinion, Justice Sotomayor, writing for others in a concurring opinion, pointed out that the logic of the government's position is that they can send anyone out of the country to a maximum security prison, including American citizens, and claim they have no power to rectify the situation as long as they send them out of the country before a court can review the matter. If we go down that road, it is the road to tyranny. Without a doubt, it is the road to tyranny. So now the case is.
Let's not forget, that's exactly how they got these people out of the United States. They signed the order in the dead of night, and there was an emergency court convened about this order, and they hustled them on the airplane as these people were convening with the first judge who told them to bring them back. And he actually told them if the planes have taken off, turn the planes around, not just for this one person, for all of the 200 and something people. And what did they do? They kept right on going. They stopped somewhere to refuel right before they got to El Salvador, but they didn't turn the planes around. And this just wasn't about him. So they have already shown you they are lawless. Now, see, the whole thing that should also get you, they will do whatever they want to. Just be clear on this. The whole thing about this, they say that these are rapists and murderers, and these are the worst of the worst. Okay, so they have presented none. They haven't even presented any allegations of the things that they are saying. These people have not been charged with anything. But what we do know is the one who they are doing all of this for has been found guilty by a jury of his peers for SAing a woman. And he's had to pay more in his settlement with her because he kept slandering her during the trial. That's what we do know. So if these people are the worst of the worst, but you can't even bring forward any case, any woman or anybody any pending litigation of these things that you said these people have done to fall in line with a person who has already 34 or 37 felonies. Isn't this rich? Is this not rich? Okay, let's continue. Let's see, Adam. What are you going to do? We're beyond the point. We see everything for what it is, and this cannot happen. Okay, that's one man. That's one elected man. All of his staff, these are not elected people. But what I want to know is, what are the elected officials going to do to stop this? To stop it. It's time to stop this. Let's see what Adam, if he's going to have any action that they're putting forward, because we see what it is. Anybody who's smart enough to be paying attention to what's going on in the world around them, or hey, some people are lost in fantasy land with bullshit and plays, but they have that right.
Is back with the lower court, and the lower court has the evidence of this White House meeting. It has the evidence of Donald Trump failing to even request the return of Kilmore Abrego Garcia. Now, I can't tell you what effectuate means and where effectuate runs into the president's power of foreign policy. But one thing is abundantly clear, and that is there was no effort made to facilitate Garcia's return, not even a request to return Garcia. And that is in patent violation of court order. Now, I imagine the district court will rule once again and impose some burden on the government once again, and the government will once again appeal to the Supreme Court. What the court does, it is hard to say. Undoubtedly, Justice Roberts will want to avoid a direct confrontation with the president, and I suspect will find some face-saving way for the court to pretend that Donald Trump is not simply and blatantly violating court orders, even though he is. But whatever the Supreme Court does, one thing is all too clear from this White House meeting. The president has taken no steps to facilitate the return of Mr. Garcia, not the return of this husband to his wife, not the return of this father to his son, but the president has taken a very determined step towards dictatorship.
Well, what is she going to do about it? That's what I want to know.
Please.
What are y'all going to do about it? Truth and Reason, did I say good morning? If I didn't, good morning. Ray Black, if I did say good morning, good morning. People better be concerned. They will grab our black asses and send us off. They definitely will. They already do that and send us off to regular prisons. Who do you think the case studies is going to be in any of this? Now, we know it's not going to be the very good people who attacked the Capitol, who now they're talking about giving these January 6th rioters. They've already suspended their, gave them pardons or what is it? Pardons or what? What's the other thing? When they let them out of jail? Clemency and pardons. So now they are extending them to prior crimes that these people were up on, such as having relations with underage minors, drug offenses, and all of this type of stuff. You know, the drug offenses that they want to put black people under the jail for all of their lives. Now they are letting these wash over their prior crimes. Additionally, they want to give these January 6 people reparations. They want to give them reparations. Did y'all hear that? If you didn't hear it, you've heard it here. Yes, they want to give them reparations. The January 6th rioters that they let out of jail for beating on police, the Capitol Police. Okay, so let's move forward. Is there anything else? Do you guys? I always forget to drop my link. I don't know. I'm not requesting, but if you guys have something you want to get off your minds, you're more than welcome to hit the link. I will pin the link at the top. If you learned anything new, don't forget my goals are set up. Let me pin my link. Okay. So let me share with you. I have a couple of more things that I want to talk about. I found this young man fascinating. I definitely want to talk about him because, you know, that saying out of the mouths of babes. Let's check him out. Let me see. Where is it? Where is it? Oh, I'm sorry. I can't find it. Oh, man. I apologize. Okay, so let's oh, here it is right here. Let's check this out. Where is the volume? I hate when it comes up without the volume. Here we go.
Project 2025, duh.
Project 2025?
You don't know what Project 2025 is?
What?
Okay, since Trump been in the office, the main thing everybody been talking about is him basically dismantling the Department of Education because the DOE overlooks the public school system. Because the majority of kids who go to public schools is from your local projects. And it just shows how much they want to keep us down as much as they can. And if he takes the DOE apart, how are kids who can't afford fancy schools gonna learn?
Let him cook.
And the reason they're doing this is because they're trying to keep us out the loop, so they defund our education system.
You smart.
They don't want people from the hood to know what's going on in the White House. So they try any way they could to dumb us down so that we don't know anything about politics. With my mother, it's obvious that he's a horrible president. And that's why, too, Kamala couldn't be president, because if they get a white person to do it, black people can't do anything about it.
What's the real reason behind Donald Trump getting elected?
Project 2025, duh.
Project 2025?
You don't know what Project 2025 is?
What?
Okay.
The link is in my description box. Thank you, Liz. I hope you guys enjoyed that. That young man is smarter than the average grown-up. Okay. They'll be getting medals next too. Hey, Kay Barron. Thank you for being here. Lord Sound Ronnie. I got it. Thank you. Now, speaking of, let's talk about the other dictator. So, did you guys hear about? Well, you've heard it here about all of the bombing that is they are continuing to do in Russia. I mean, in Ukraine, and there hasn't been a peep from this person who wants to broker peace. So, did you guys hear about what happened on Palm Sunday in an area of the Ukraine that formerly had not been struck? On Palm Sunday, when people are getting ready to go to church and all of this, Russia struck. What is the name of this city? Well, we'll figure. We'll see it in this. And the audacity. You know what 4547 said about this while he's reprimanding Zelensky. He said, "Oh, it was a mistake. It was just a mistake." That's what he said. It was a mistake. Okay, let's where Palm Sunday mistake. Here we go. This is in my description box under Palm Sunday mistake. Now, I also gave you guys the story. About 4547. Not only wants the natural minerals from Ukraine. Now they have squeezed in that they want control of a pipeline that goes from Russia through Ukraine. So, we've heard them on that signal message when they were striking over, and they're still striking over in Yemen, but they didn't want to help the Europeans, our allies, because they didn't like the Europeans, and we're going to have to figure out what we can get from the Europeans for all of this might that we're putting up. You're not putting this might up for the Europeans at all. Hold on. You're not putting this might up for the Europeans at all. You're putting this might up to go along with Israel and what they're doing with Gaza. Because if Israel would stop doing what they're doing in Gaza, they would not be blocking the shipping access. So let's keep it a buck. So they are very transactional. They are just like, oh, let's go around the world and get this free money. Do you think that this free money is going into the United States Treasury? Do you think that this is money that they want to divvy up and put in their pockets? What do you think this money is going to? So they are basically robbing this country. This country that is going to have to rebuild itself if they're not overtaken in the interim, while they're supposed to be looking for a ceasefire, and Zelensky has already agreed to a ceasefire, but they're steadily being hammered by the Russians. And when it happens, the only thing that our president can say is it's a mistake. And then he turned around and said that it shouldn't have even happened in the first place. And if I was in office, you weren't in office because you lost the election. If I was in office, it wouldn't have happened. And so that's the mistake. The mistake was that he wasn't in office. The mistake was if he was in office, he wouldn't have done what Biden did, and Zelensky wouldn't have been able to do what he did. What did he do but other than get evaded by Russia? I'm not clear on any of that, but let me share this report with you guys. This man is absolutely in always up under trying to be an authoritarian and trying to knock boots, as it were, with dictators. So here we go. Let me see. Here we are, right here. I apologize.
Russian missiles hit the Ukrainian city of Sumy on Sunday, killing dozens of people, making it the deadliest attack in Ukraine so far this year. Local officials said the strikes killed more than 30 people, including children, and injured more than 80. According to Ukrainian Economy Minister Yulia Sviridenko, the strikes hit the city center as residents were attending church services for Palm Sunday. President Volodymyr Zelensky said the attack showed how Russia is, quote, dragging out this war, and called for a strong response.
Strong response. It was a mistake, Vladimir. It was a mistake. Let's continue.
A Russian drone strike has injured at least 7 people in Odessa, Ukraine. The attack damaged civilian infrastructure and a medical facility as firefighters are now battling multiple blazes across the city. Now, this comes after Ukraine suffered the single deadliest Russian attack since 2023 on Palm Sunday. 2 ballistic missiles hit the northern city of Sumy, leaving at least 34 people dead and more than 100 injured. President Trump says he was told Russia, quote, made a mistake following the strike on crowded residential areas. But in an attempt to push Ukrainian forces further from the border of Russia's Kursk region, the Kremlin is clearly intensifying its aggression in the north. Joining me now live from London is CNN's Salma Abdelaziz. Good to see you, Salma. So what more are you learning about these Russian missile attacks on the city of Sumy and, of course, their aftermath?
What's particularly horrifying about these attacks, Rosemary, is that Ukrainian officials are accusing Russia of deliberately targeting civilians. Ukraine saying that Russia knew it was Palm Sunday, knew that the city center of Sumy would be busy, and that is why they struck. According to Ukrainian officials, also cluster munitions were used. You'll remember, of course, that these are munitions that are packed with lots of tiny explosives that could spread out across the size of a football field and can present many dangers later on. One military official describing this as a 2-pronged attack, saying the second of the 2 missiles likely filled with munitions that exploded mid-air to inflict maximum damage. President Zelensky shared images of the aftermath of this attack, which are absolutely nightmarish. Rosemary, you can see bodies strewn about in the streets, people screaming as rescue workers try to respond to these multiple incidences. And President Zelensky was quick to turn to President Trump's peace efforts and point to President Putin as a bad faith actor. Take a listen to how he put it.
Wars end only when criminal wars are not forgotten and when there is a pressure on the aggressor. This is not happening now. Last Friday, 1 month had passed since Russia rejected the American proposal of a full...
Now, let's be clear. They offered let me make sure my mic is on. Let's be clear that the United States came to them and Zelensky has accepted this deal. Now, it has been 1 month since Russia has refused this ceasefire deal, but Zelensky is at fault. Now, he initially said that the Kremlin said that it was a mistake. He's carrying the Kremlin's water. The only thing that he had to say about this was the Kremlin said it was a mistake. How do you make such a mistake? And then when he was pressed on it, he said that the mistake then turned into Biden and Zelensky. Let's be clear. Okay. Just trash.
Unconditional ceasefire. They feel no fear, and that's why there are missiles. That's why there are 100 combat drones each night.
Because they are not getting pressed. They are allowed to do whatever they want to do. No pressure. At the same time, while this grubby little man is like, what can I get from you? What can I raid from you? What can I raid from your land while you're in the middle of war, while you're stressed out, while you are under attack, under siege? Let me see what's in here. What's in the deal for me? I'm brokering peace. What's in the deal for me? Ugh. All right, let me see. It may be a little more.
Now, President Trump has said repeatedly that he wants to see this war end and quickly. His negotiators were actually in Russia just a few days ago, speaking directly to President Putin. But for President Zelensky and the people of Sumy, those peace negotiations seem very far from the reality on the ground, which is an intensification of attacks by Moscow. As you mentioned, the Sumy region is right up near the border where Russian troops are trying to regain and seize territory from Ukrainian forces. So you're seeing more attacks, more.
And the thing that trips me out is our media is not talking about any of this. Our media is not talking about any of this.
Hits and strikes at the Sumy region. President Zelensky was also in an interview yesterday asking President Trump to come to Ukraine and see this for himself. He is urging American negotiators essentially to really take a look and assess the damage that you see there at Sumy and really make a measurement of President Putin's intentions and efforts in these times.
Please, he's not going there because he don't care about the damage. The only reason you get 45, 47 to look in a bomb hole because he'll be looking to see if he see the earth shimmering with uranium and any other precious minerals. That's the only reason that he looking at a fucking bomb hole in Ukraine. Are you serious? And he should definitely be getting more pressure since he decided that he wanted to go in there and be Mr. Peacekeeper. And when Russia refused to keep the peace, he keeps his lips closed. And when he opens his lips, it's all about Biden and what Zelensky is doing when Russia is the invader of this country. Media blackout is another sign of dictatorship or of authoritarian. They are afraid to say anything. I told you that, was it 60 Minutes? Who was it? Not 60 Minutes. It may have been 60. CBS. They didn't like the two stories that they did. One was on Greenland and the other one was on, I forget what the other one was on. I think I have it in my description box. They have sick the Department of Justice, Pam Bimbo, on them because they didn't like the story. Nothing. They didn't say they defamed the presidents. Nothing. No, they said they didn't like the story. So do with that as you can. Now let me show something else. Okay. Give me 1 second. How you guys hear that Harvard said no thank you, no thank you, you will not be extorting us. Now we heard what happened with Colombia, that they said if Colombia would capitulate, that they will not. They would have to put their African studies. Some other, I think it was 5 areas of study would have to be under a provost, and so Columbia agreed. They've hired more police officers. They banned masks during any protests, and they also are making sure that there are no more protests, Palestinian protests, which the administration called a pro-Hamas protest, but these are pro-Palestinian protests. So they did all that capitulation to get their funds I think it was $400 million that they were talking about taking from Colombia, and now what happened? That they gave a little. Now 45-47 wants to take everything from Colombia. They want to be over everything that Colombia does now. So you got yourself in a pickle. But Howard said, no, we're not, fuck you trying to hold this money over our head. We ain't going. Okay, so let's get to this Harvard story. I want to share with you. I was like so happy. I am always happy to see pushback. Harvard says no. So here we go. $9 billion that they are talking about. I'm going to share this with you. That he was talking about taking away from Harvard. So the story is Harvard rejects Trump's administration's demands. Did you guys hear about this story? Okay, let's hear the story. I think I have it on double time. Let me slow it down. Oh no. Did you guys hear about this story? I think that it's good to see institutions stand up. I think it's good to see the large attorney companies stand up, as opposed to the ones who have capitulated and bent the knee and offered up all of this free legal services. So they will this time around have some of the best attorneys because of some of them they hadn't even made a demand of. Some of these large profitable law companies went to them and just offered up all of this free pro bono service. And then he said that, well, the first law firm that they did address, they got off cheap. They only have to pay $40 million in pro bono service. The last 5 law firms, they have to pay $125 million of pro bono work. Now, pro bono is usually for people who can't afford attorneys, cases that they take on good cause, cases that some of their associates want to take. One of the attorneys I played her saying that she was disgusted with her law firm. She couldn't work there. And one of the reasons that she did work there was all the unlimited pro bono work they allowed her to do. And she was not doing pro bono work for the rich. She was not doing pro bono work for a presidential administration. So let's keep it a buck. When he was last out of office, he couldn't get a good lawyer. He could not get a good lawyer. So whatever happens this time around, and whatever happens in this administration, he will have some of the best lawyers arguing his case. If they believe it, if they would have taken it, whatever. Their partners decided it was a good good thing to lay in bed with the devil. So let's see what Harvard is doing. Back on topic, Ronnie Hugh.
We are talking about $9 billion in federal funding for research and other programs here. The school says that these demands from the Trump administration violate the school's First Amendment rights. Now, over the weekend, a lot of students and faculty here, they rallied, calling on the school to push back against the Trump administration. The demands from the administration include shutting down diversity, equity, and inclusion programs and cooperating with immigration authorities. The demands come as the government reviews alleged anti-Semitism on campus. Well, Harvard's president responded today saying that the school has been addressing anti-Semitism for over a year and continues to do so. He also says no government, regardless of which party's in power, should dictate what private universities can teach, whom they can admit and hire, and which areas of study and inquiry they can pursue. A law professor here tells me Harvard did the right thing by pushing back.
That it will hopefully encourage other institutions in this position to say, we care about the future of our institutions. We care about democracy, and we're not going to simply satisfy whatever the president demands.
Now, one school that did not stand up to Trump's demands is Columbia University. With $400 million of federal funding on the line there, that school agreed to the president's demands. Harvard is the first school to push back so forcefully. Live in Cambridge, John Atwater, WCVB News Center.
Okay, that is the story I
Still
wanted
eating
you guys to hear. What do you guys think about that? Hey, Miss Hummingbirdie. Okay, Z Sarah said, I have not heard it either. Okay. The law firm that Doug Inhofe works for bowed down to the Trump administration. Just a shame to see all of this happening. It's good to see Harvard stand up. So did Inhofe stay with this firm? Now, I played a clip of, oh my God, I'm having a brain fart. Eric Holder. Talk about these law firms that are capitulating to these requests, and that they really need to stand up for the law. And the young associate that I played, I think she did testify in front of the House about the law firms that are being they, basically, they're basically, it's just crazy. Basically, what am I trying to say? They're just being robbed. Basically, they're being robbed. These law firms. It's just crazy. I just cannot believe that this is happening. Okay, so, but it is. So let's hope that we see more pushback, because we need to see more pushback. So let me show you how some of our for-profit media is treating the things. Now, I think, what does they call that? RU is Fox News turning into Russian propaganda media. So let's watch this. I think it's quite entertaining.
Talk about a takedown. Hello, everybody. David Schuster here. The lone liberal on Fox News, Jessica Tarlov, recently ripped conservative Jeanine Pirro. And this broadside on the Five was one of the most brutal and effective you will ever see. The panel was talking about the war in Ukraine, and Jeanine Pirro expressed sympathy for Vladimir Putin's Russia, given the NATO alliance.
Every decade, they move closer and closer to Russia, NATO has. And the Crimea and everything else is a response to NATO.
For Russia. NATO encroaching on them.
They are an independent country who believes strong. And I'm not pro-Russia at all.
Really?
But
I can't tell. I really cannot tell. Can you tell that she's not pro-Russian? I wonder how many. What do Russia's money? What is Russia's money? Are they the ruble? I wonder how much she got stuffed in her freezer. The way this bitch talking. Let's continue.
Doesn't sound like that.
Don't give me that.
You
Really?
don't give me
No,
that.
don't give me that. You know,
Judge Janine, she just did.
Why shouldn't she give you that? You just gave her what you gave her, but don't give me that.
Did give you that. You sound like an apologist for Putin.
You know what? The truth is, they stand for this, and they don't want NATO any closer. And it's been decades that's been agreed to.
They
And for
invaded a
decades, they
sovereign nation and
Do you remember?
Okay, so they don't want NATO closer. Okay, and what? Why are you explaining us to that? And we are a part of NATO. So why are you explaining to us what Putin don't want close to him? I don't understand any of this. They try to normalize this relationship with Russia.
3 years ago,
they've stolen their children.
Okay,
They're
3 years
stolen
ago,
women.
1 second,
Jessica. No.
3 years ago, I sat here and I said the Russians.
Hold on. And she, what did she say about in retort about stealing the children? Look at her. She looks demonic. Look at her. Just look at her.
A sovereign nation and
Do you remember
killed
3 years
thousands.
ago?
They've stolen their children.
Okay,
They're
3 years
stolen
ago.
women.
1 second,
Children. No.
3 years ago, I sat here and
They stolen their children. No. Yes, they have stolen their children and gave them whole new identities. Never to return. Bitch, please quit acting like you don't know this.
said the Russian-Ukrainian thing is like a family fight across the street. We don't want to go over there and get in between a family fight.
Okay, so you mean to tell me that you are going to equate a invasion of a sovereign country to a with a smile, with a little shit-eating grin on your face as a fight between families? So and somebody should take anything that he's saying seriously. Should they? This is insane lunacy. I tell you, lunacy. Let me see. Yeah, there's a little bit more from them. Okay.
The Trump peace deal.
Do you think that it's important to consider the fact that this quote unquote peace deal that he's offering means that Zelensky essentially cedes his country to Russia? And no one has explained what the sudden change in the last couple of weeks and the way that Donald Trump is talking about Ukraine and Zelensky is spurred by. He didn't used to call Zelensky a dictator. He didn't used to say that his people hated him. He didn't used to say he had a 4% approval rating. He didn't used to say any of the total blasphemy that he's been throwing out there in the last few weeks. Elon Musk also on Twitter a couple of days ago saying, I agree, to someone who said that the U.S. should get out of NATO and the UN. These are all things. Is that bad? I couldn't come up with the right word.
It's funny.
Okay. Well, have a good chuckle at it. These are all things that Putin wants to hear. And you know that because his own spokesman, Peskov, said as much, said the rapidly changing U.S. foreign policy configurations largely coincides with our vision. Dmitry Medvedev, the insolent pig about Zelensky, finally got a proper slapdown in the Oval Office. Trump is right. The Kyiv regime is gambling with World War III. So if you are satisfying someone that we all agree is a dictator and authoritarian to that level, don't you think maybe the methods aren't that great?
But such deep thinking is usually beyond the reach of most conservatives, including those on the Five. Those panelists, including Jeanine Pirro and Jesse Waters, are Trump parroting simpletons.
you can't do it militarily. You got to go do it at the negotiating table.
You know what? The truth is that Donald Trump's job is to get a deal, and that means you don't take one side or the other.
He's taking
and their
one side.
interpretation of his not taking, of his
Brett
not
says we have to go.
criticizing
Stop.
Putin is that he's pro-Putin. He's a deal maker.
Okay.
Glad
Who
we
likes
settled that.
Vladimir Putin?
Trump is a deal maker who Tarlov adds.
He's a deal maker. It's not to take anyone's side. You can't take you can't take that side of your ally and try to negotiate. Okay, your ally who nation was invaded, nonetheless. It's not like you taking the side of your ally and your ally is the evader. No, you can't take the side of your ally whose country was invaded. You can't, and still try to negotiate this shit to stop. You can't do that, Janine Pirro. But you can against your ally talk about all of the talking points that the invader has done to someone who is supposed to be your ally. Okay, it makes sense. No sense. That's good. It makes sense, and the sense that it makes is none. Okay, so this link is. Let me see. Oh my God, I don't know what this is. I didn't expect this on here. Let me see what they're talking about with this idiot.
Planned by British leaders to send 20,000 troops to Ukraine.
Look, if you want real security guarantees, if you want to actually ensure that Vladimir Putin does not invade Ukraine again, the very best security guarantee is to give Americans economic upside in the future of Ukraine. That is a way better security guarantee.
Everything is all about money. Economic upside. Economic upside in Ukraine. What could it be? We want all of your money. We're gonna let him keep the 20% of your land, and we need money. We need money. We need money. We're saving all of this money by turning America into a third world nation, so that all of these oligarchs and rich people can get their tax cut at the expense of everyday people not being able to get any type of health treatment unless they go to the emergency rooms, or which the fee is way more higher, and the outcome for people is way worse, because by the time you let a sickness linger, it can which one is acute, or I keep getting those mixed up. You can catch it if you had a regular physician and did regular medical checkups. Some of these conditions that are killing people could be caught early enough to treat them. Say, like you can possibly catch stage 1 cancer. You can have a doctor that noticed some misshapen cells that could become cancerous. All of this that you get the benefit of having health insurance, and as opposed to continuing to go back and forth to an emergency room when the cancer that you didn't catch, or the cancer cells that you didn't catch, has blown into stage 3 or stage 4 cancer, and you're dying because you can't get any type of treatment because you have no insurance. Do we understand what we're talking about? They don't give a fuck. And so this shit is untenable. I think that instead of talking about giving less insurance, more people should be insured. And all of these great grand plans that they're talking about they're not very specific, because one of the one of the things that they want to do most right now is to fire people from their jobs in government. As if just because these people worked in government, they're not going to be absorbed into the nation of unemployed people. That they act like these people are going to float away like fairy dust after they are unemployed. No, these are going to be more unemployed people trying to make it in the United States, this third world country that they are creating. In my opinion, it's just my opinion.
Guarantee than 20,000 troops from some random country that hasn't fought a war in 30 or 40 years.
The British Star newspaper called it.
Okay, so we should give you money, but how does that give guarantees? Or as opposed to somebody who hasn't fought a war in 20 and 30 years. You're talking about money. You ain't saying nothing about, so they got to pay for our allies have to pay you for our troops now to defend against an invader of their nation. They should pay you as opposed to using any other NATO ally. Are you serious? Just because they hadn't fought a war in 20 or 30 years? Well, maybe it's revved up in them. Maybe they've been doing a lot of tactical missions and they want to test them out on some real flesh. Is he serious? Okay. These people are, and you would think they would be embarrassed to say some of the shit that they're saying out loud. Let's go back to the propaganda network. Let's see what they're talking about now.
To replace the table, we chose to get something that's modern looking and functional.
Let me get beyond this commercial.
Shut. The issue is not the issue at hand. Keep your mouth shut. The issue.
Fox News.
Robert De Niro, you're just too stupid. Keep your mouth shut. The issue is not the issue at hand. Obstruction is not the issue.
Jeanine Pirro's Whoppers are an issue. So much so that 2 years ago, Fox News pulled the plug on her TV program.
I thank you for fighting for me, and you know who you are. And so as we reach the end of this journey, don't think you're getting rid of me just yet.
Yes, Fox News kept Pirro around as a commentator on The Five.
It's your turn.
It's your segment.
And the controversies have become legendary. Mediaite Fox News reportedly demoted Jeanine Pirro, own producer, torched her as a reckless maniac. Quote, Pirro had become so unmanageable that her own executive producer called her a reckless maniac, as a filing in the Dominion lawsuit previously indicated.
This guy has been lying from the moment he came on the political scene. He has a lack of empathy. He is egocentric. He's got a condescending smirk whenever anybody asks him a question from the press.
Some of the recklessness allegedly included drinking too much wine before going on air, a claim underscored by The Good Liars.
Let me ask you a question. When you're on the air, do you have a couple drinks before you go on?
Never.
Because I watched you one time and you were slurring your words a little bit.
I was never slurring my words.
When you were on your show on Judge Jeannie, you were slurring your words a little bit.
But that's what we liked about it. We're like, this
funny.
is what's fun about the show.
He's saying that I was slurring my words.
Well, just you've had a couple.
You just had a couple drinks.
That's why we watched
What's
the show.
your name?
To be clear, if Jeanine Pirro has a few drinks before going on live TV, that's fine. Maybe alcohol helps her spew Donald Trump's propaganda. But whether she or any other conservatives are sober or inebriated, their defense of Trump and Russia is embarrassing. Thankfully, Fox News still allows Jessica Tarlov to call it all out with facts and logic. And in many ways, when Tarlov takes on the wacky Jeanine Pirro, it's not a fair fight. Hey, Fox, keep it going. By the way, the Trump administration says the U.S. stock market drop and economic turmoil from its tariffs are worth the long-term boost to U.S. manufacturing. Not according to economists, though.
I think what's coming out of the White House is, frankly, unmitigated nonsense, and there's not an economist alive who would defend what they're doing. But your viewers don't have to believe me. It turns out that there's a market where people bet on whether those sorts of effects are going to happen. I'm talking, of course, of the stock market. If Lutnick is right, and if Trump is right that these tariffs are going to lead to a boom in American business, then you should see the American stock market boom in response to a tariff announcement. What we saw was the stocks fell 2.5% yesterday, an additional 1.5% this morning. This is the stock market telling you, we think this is absolutely terrible for American business. And remember, it's businesses that are meant to benefit here. The stock market's
I didn't want to go into the stock market. I just wanted you guys to see that Vance makes me nervous. Fox isn't a news channel; it's an embarrassment channel. So it doesn't have to. Henceforth, Sheppy Sheeple follows, etc. The media is part of the machine to create and perpetuate the narrative. Exactly. So that's what I wanted to show you about that. Now there is something. Okay, there's a couple of more things I'm going to show you right quick. Let me see. I forgot to show you some things on yesterday that I do want to get into. Okay. Speaking of, we were talking about the wars, so let's finish talking about the wars that, you know, are wholly ignored. Let me play this for you, give you this information. It's not much more I can say about this information other than it's frightening that America is completely upholding this carnage and genocide, and nothing. It's as if this is some normal shit to be doing. Let's find out. Remember when the Israelis struck that first hospital in Gaza, and they said every which ways that Hamas did it, and they were trying to blame it on Israel, and then it was well, we were just trying to get some Hamas fighters, and they're hiding them in the hospitals, and the tunnels are under the hospitals. They finally admitted under the guise of, hey, we're just trying to get Hamas. So you will be maybe not so surprised to hear that they have struck the last remaining hospital, last remaining place where people in Gaza could get medical attention, has been struck, and that's it, and that's all. So do you think these hospitals were targeted? I don't know. I can't see. Well, maybe it's a coincidence. I don't know. Let's see.
To Democracy Now!, democracynow.org, The War and Peace Report. I'm Amy Goodman. Israel's bombed the last functioning hospital in the northern Gaza Strip, killing a child who asphyxiated from a lack of oxygen and leaving sick and wounded Palestinians on the street with nowhere to go for treatment. The assault on the Al-Ahli Arab Hospital in Gaza City came during a weekend of relentless artillery and missile attacks that killed and injured scores of Palestinians. Overnight, an Israeli airstrike killed an entire family of 10 in Khan Yunis, including children as young as 3 years old. In Deir al-Balah, mourners gathered Sunday to honor 6 brothers killed when an Israeli strike hit their car. Their father, Zaki Abu Mahdi, said his sons were delivering food and water to Palestinians left hungry by Israel's total siege on Gaza, which is now in its 7th week.
After the war began, they started volunteering to prepare meals for people in need. They don't carry weapons. They're not resistance fighters. They're civilians. The 10-year-old child was out helping his brothers just to get something to eat under this siege.
Now, this is like, when you think about this, they have stopped all aid. It's not like they don't have aid, but they have stopped it from being allowed to go into Gaza when they 7 weeks ago start bombing on Gaza again. So surely this is just like beyond the pale, and nobody's talking about this. And you got people, that they suspect any male over the age of 10 or 12 to be a part of Hamas. Excuse my lemon heads. You know that they accuse anybody of 10 or 12 being a part of Hamas. Now, you are in a desperate war-torn situation. Nobody is coming to help you. They are shooting up and killing reporters who are trying to get the story out. There is a news blockade that they know national reporters can go in. So what are they doing to the Palestinian reporters? They are unaliving them so that the story will not get out. And you have these people, the best that they can do is try to help, try to get food and water to people, to pockets of people where they know they're trying to help. This is disgusting. This shit is disgusting. What's going on in Gaza? And if people choose to look the other way and act as if this shit ain't really happening, like this is not a travesty, it is fucking disgusting. Let's continue.
Why would you do this to them? What did they do wrong?
In Israel, over 1,600 former Israeli paratroopers, soldiers, and intelligence agents have signed a letter demanding a ceasefire deal that would see the release of all remaining hostages, even if that means an end to Israel's assault on Gaza. The open letter reads, in part, quote, "We identify with the assertion that at this time, the war serves mainly political and personal interests rather than security interests," unquote. Yemen's Houthis.
Their own paratroopers, they're saying this ain't about security. This is not about security. Their own, let's replay this again. These are their own people saying this.
To Israel's assault on Gaza. The open letter reads, have signed a letter in Israel, over 1,600 former Israeli paratroopers, soldiers, and intelligence agents have signed a letter demanding a ceasefire deal that would see the release of all remaining hostages, even if that means an end to Israel's assault on Gaza. The open letter reads, in part, quote, "We identify with the assertion that at this time, the war serves mainly political and personal interests rather than security interests," unquote.
Egos. And don't forget this waterfront property. We'll be remiss if we forget this beautiful property. I think I've sickened myself. I really think I've sickened myself. Yes, Doug is still with the firm. Hopefully that would change in the future, but I don't have high hopes. Oh my God. Demonic is right. Imagine your child being snatched listening to this mess. Baron, they're all censored and controlled. Who is all censored and controlled? Never knew that news stations could be biased. Shouldn't they be neutral? Baron, I know you're being facetious. You have to be being facetious, right? It's a disgrace. Okay. Vance makes me nervous. Liz, me too. He's a really unnerving character. Yes. Because he tries to present himself as a regular guy, and he is the worst of the worst. Trying to hide in who he really is, and his love for white supremacy, in my opinion. And that's it, and that's all. And he does, and this tough guy act. He kills me with this tough guy act, and I'm talking strong, and and we're gonna do this, and we're this, and we're the. You're not shit. If I bet you, please, JD Vance, if you don't go sit your ass down somewhere, you better. All of this tough guy rhetoric, and he's nothing but a marshmallow. Okay, let me see what else. The last hospital. Okay, let me see. One last thing. Pay the billionaires more. I think I've discussed that. 45-47 would have the best attorneys. 45 and 47 wants the minerals and the pipeline. I just talked about that. Let me see if it's in here. Here we go. Okay, here we go. I do want to share this. You guys probably have not heard about a covert. Yes, a covert. Okay, so I thought I read that to you guys. Did I read this about the pipeline? I think I may have read it. So here we are. Let me share this about the pipeline he's demanding. I just want to share a little bit of this.
All right, we woke up to a breaking news story that perfectly shows how much of a failure this administration is, how much of an evil human being Vladimir Putin is, and how the failure of this administration creates the permission structure for Vladimir Putin to be even more and more evil. Let's just start here. The president of Ukraine, Volodymyr Zelensky, tweeted out early in the morning, as of now, 31 people are known to have been killed in Sumy by the Russian ballistic missile strike. Among those killed were 2 children. My condolences to the families and loved ones. More than 84 people have been wounded, including 10 children. All of them are receiving the necessary assistance. It is crucial that the world does not stay silent or indifferent. Russian strikes deserve nothing but condemnation, but we'll probably not even hear anything coming out of the Trump White House. They will be silent. In fact, they'll probably secretly lower sanctions or any sort of trade barriers with Russia while increasing trade barriers on the rest of the world. This says there must be pressure on Russia to end the war and guarantee security for people. Without truly strong pressure, without sufficient support for Ukraine, Russia will continue dragging this war out. It is now the second month that Putin has been ignoring the U.S. proposal for a full and unconditional ceasefire. Unfortunately, there in Moscow, they are convinced that they can keep killing with impunity, and they can because Trump is not holding anyone accountable. Let me show you this clip for my Jubilee debate where I make the exact point to MAGA conservatives that Trump is getting tricked. We filmed this a month ago, and this still rings true.
Can I debunk the idea that Biden was less strong on Russia? Russia was frozen out of the global order for the past 3 years. Nobody would
happening now because today, just listen to this. Today, this exact type of game continues, and it's disgusting. So the U.S., quote, demands control from Ukraine of key pipeline carrying Russian gas. Senior Kyiv economist describes latest position of Trump administration and talks of, quote, colonial type bullying. And that's what the Ukrainian admin is calling it. They're saying that Trump and the people around him are doing a colonial shakedown. And here's the thing. Trump over the past month has tried to get energy from Ukraine. He tried to get a mineral deal from Ukraine that they called, quote, blackmail. And all while this is happening, Vladimir Putin has taken advantage of Trump's naivete and killed more Ukrainians. This article from early this morning, the story that I'm talking about, Russian strikes on northeastern Ukrainian city of Sumy kill 32 in deadliest attack this year. So it seems like that number has been updated from the 31 that Zelensky tweeted out just a few hours back. So the death toll is continuing to update, and Trump is just trying to shake Ukraine down. Even this article from a month ago, which I was referencing in that debate clip, is just disgusting. As U.S. stops sharing intel, Russia hits Zelensky's hometown, killing 4. Yet Trump will not stick up to him. And let me explain why in this clip.
Trump has a unique form of narcissism where he's attracted to powerful people. If you guys think he's not narcissistic, you guys are way behind us right now.
I think every politician is narcissistic.
Trump has a unique.
I think he's exceptional.
Trump has a unique form of narcissism where he's attracted to powerful people. You can see this when he talks about his love letters with Xi Jinping or Kim Jong-un, or when he talks about Vladimir Putin. He comes up with nicknames for Trudeau, but what's his nickname for Putin? He has no nickname for Putin. This proves my point. This dude plays soft
Nicknames?
with Putin.
Okay, so I'll go over there and check Adam Moakler out. Let me see. Let's talk about this. I will talk about this. Trump turns on MAGA states. So the states are supposed to educate the children. That includes the children, since they're closing the Department of Education down, and 83% of the money did come from the states. Let's be clear, to send the kids to school. It's estimated 83% of the money came from the states. But where they needed extra money was for Head Start, pre-K, and all of those things, and for students with special needs. So additionally, on top of that, y'all remember when there was that hurricane that went all the way through the Carolinas and through Tennessee and all of these unexpected states. And y'all remember that these people were in the midst of trying to get aid and water and the things that they needed. And they had to shut the freeway down because 47 made an appearance at a McDonald's as if he was working at the McDonald's. And then he had to go on and chug it up to, I think it was North Carolina, to get his honorary fry cook pen from one of his buddies who, I think he was the governor, who also owned a McDonald's and was able to give him his fry chef pen and all of this in the middle of them trying to recover from this hurricane. Okay. So not only will the states have to pay for they're more for the kids going to school because they're going to have to bring in more money for the kids who are on IEPs and all of that type of stuff. They expect they are expecting since this is going to be up to the states, are these kids going to even be able to go to school? Because let's look at what else is going to be up to the states. Does he want to get rid of FEMA? Yes, he does. He wants to get rid of FEMA. And now here it is. He has proclaimed that I think it's North Carolina will get no more money from FEMA. The states are going to have to take up the slack. I said all of that to say this.
I am losing my mind over here because we get news stories every day about how every good part of the federal government is being dismantled right in front of our faces. And it's hardly ever talked about, right? It's sort of like with Israel doing their genocide, at some point, people just started thinking like, yeah, they're Israel and they do a genocide. I know that's what's happening. And it's almost like attention sort of goes away from it, right? Even though it's like the worst atrocity in modern history, not even close to anything else. People are just like, yeah, that's what the Israelis do, genocide. That's what it is, right? And they just like sort of get used to it. Now, by the same token, when you look at Doge and Elon, everybody looks at them and go, yeah, this is what they do. They dismantle every good part of the government day in and day out. They're destroying the social safety net. They're destroying everything good about our government. And then they lie about it to the public. That's what they do, right? People are sort of used to it. But I got to give you these updates because the specifics matter, and these are just earth-shattering. Let's start here. This is from Newsweek. Trump denies FEMA aid extension in state he won 3 times. This is a shocking betrayal of North Carolina. A shocking betrayal. All right, here we go. Democratic Governor Josh Stein announced Friday that the Federal Emergency Management Agency has denied North Carolina's request to extend the full reimbursement period for Hurricane Helene recovery efforts. In the aftermath of Hurricane Helene, which struck in September 2024, then presidential candidate Donald Trump voiced sharp criticism of FEMA's response in the swing state of North Carolina, accusing the agency of being too slow to release recovery funds and failing to coordinate effectively with state officials. Trump repeatedly claimed that federal bureaucracy was delaying critical aid, saying in one press briefing, "The people of North Carolina deserve faster, better action. FEMA needs to cut the red tape and get the job done." So in other words, what he's saying is, Joe Biden, you're being too slow. You're being too slow with the help to the people of North Carolina. You got to help them, and you got to help them faster. That's what you got to do, Joe. These are our citizens, and they're hurting.
So how the tide has changed now that he is responsible for getting aid, and during a period where they are still allegedly supposed to be able to get aid. I've shared, I've talked about what's going on there many a times, but you know, the media decides the mainstream media decides that they must repeat the exact same stories on every show over and over and over again, and this type of stuff gets lost. So people may think that, hey, it's not that bad. I don't hear about it being that bad. I don't hear anything has changed in the world. I don't hear, it's not that bad because they're not reporting on it, dummies. They're not reporting on it. So that's what's going on with that. I think we should understand that it's going to get a lot worse, in my opinion. I think that we should understand when some people pull their fucking heads out of the sand, they're not going to recognize where they are in America. Let me see. I think I have one more thing I want to share with you. Let me see. Oh, I got 2 things I want to share with you. So are the drunks and the addicts deciding, So are the drunks and the addicts deciding? That is about Elon Musk and a police officer that used to get so drunk on the job that they fired him, and he was not allowed to testify in any more Wisconsin court trials. And these are the people who are, he works for ICE now. So are we to believe that I don't know, people can change their lives all the time, but this is what the report is reporting. And so that's the drunk. And a possible alleged drug user using his access into databases to show undocumented workers. Are these the people who are deciding where to send ICE on these junkets? So that is in here. The minimum. Church and state. I think there's this crusade against anti-Christian bias is Donald's DEI. I have an article in here. It is saying the Trump administration on Friday instructed U.S. diplomats to report on any example of anti-Christian bias that they encounter in the workplace, particularly any examples they experienced during Joe Biden's term. In an internal State Department directive we obtained, signed by Secretary of State Marco Rubio, encourages department employees to file detailed reports anonymously if necessary, naming any colleague responsible. I've included a copy of the cable at the bottom of this post. The directive was precipitated by Trump's February 6th executive order eradicating anti-Christian bias. So there's an eradicating anti-Christian bias executive order. Despite the creepy overtones, I can't help but laugh. This is DEI. Instead of the administration's signature informal tone, the memo reads like an army of HR lawyers sanitize the White House angry framing and the president's focus on Christianity into an unimpenetrable tangle of rules and regulations. Okay, it advised employees to refer ongoing discrimination to department leadership, to report allegations of harassment to the anti-harassment program, and so on. The directive is intended to collect evidence for a task force established by Trump's executive order, but it reads more like a public service announcement about how all religious discrimination is illegal, per the cable. Although EO focuses on anti-Christian bias, targeting anyone for their religious belief is discriminatory. It is contrary to the Constitution, the Civil Rights Act of 1964, and the Religious Freedom Restoration Act, and other federal laws. Okay, so let me see. This is a link to an article. You may want to go check it out. The State Department took Trump's anti-DEI, anti-Semitic and pro-Christian ideas, handed over to legal, and ended up with a hilarious stew of bureaucrats. For the life of me, I can't imagine who the pro-Christian crusaders are supposed to report on. Jews, Muslims, Buddhists, atheists, given the impenetrable language of the order. Okay, so there you have it. You are making a mockery of a day that meant to memorialize men that died, Owen said in the statement, condemning me and calling me deranged. Real mockery, in my view, is politicians performatively responding to any veteran content that they can find to conceal how little they actually care about. What is this? This doesn't make any sense. Maybe not. Maybe don't look at this article because one thing doesn't comport with the other thing. Let's move on. Let's move on. Let's move on. Okay, so the last thing I want to talk to you about would be where is Mike Johnson? So we know that Mike Johnson is a Speaker of the House. If you guys don't know that Mike Johnson, I'm not sharing the screen. But what you may not know is Mike Johnson is some alleged religious zealot, Christian zealot. And what you may not know is that Mike Johnson actually said that himself and his son share in an accountability app. And the accountability app is to let the other know if they log on to any pornography site. So it doesn't seem like Mike Johnson either believes in himself or his son enough to not go visit pornography sites because they're trying to be extra Christian. It doesn't seem like there's trust there of himself or of his son. So we know that he's from Louisiana. He is a whole bunkin. And we also know that when you get a seat in Congress or the Senate, that you have to basically move to Washington, D.C. if you're not living in a place with a reasonable commute. So Mike Johnson has set up shop in Washington, D.C. He is married. I assume he just goes back home, when they have breaks or whatever, or on the, some congressmen travel home on the weekends or on long breaks or I don't know. So where is Mike Johnson staying while he is in D.C.? Let's listen to this report, and you guys decide.
Mike Johnson's DC living arrangements have been revealed, and they are just as bizarre and weird as you would think they would be. Mike Johnson, as everybody knows, is the Speaker of the House of the United States of America, who is a big evangelical Christian who says that God speaks to him and God told him that he was Moses. Despite saying such crazy things, the Republicans voted for him to be their speaker and their leader in Congress. So some really fantastic journalism coming out of ProPublica has revealed that Moses Mike Johnson lives with a whack job evangelical preacher. And this preacher has this secretive influence campaign. And if you follow the most religious Republican men in their careers, they always end up living in these fraternity style, all guys, prayer group, frat house situations in Washington, D.C., which I think is just as weird is all get out. But let's break into the story. Put up the next slide. Okay. In 2021, Steve Berger, he is the evangelical pastor who Moses Mike lives with, has attacked the separation of church and state as a quote, delusional lie, and called multinational institutions demonic, set off an ambitious project. His stated goal, minister to members of Congress so that what they learn is then translated into policy. His base of operations would be a 6-bedroom, $3.7 million townhouse blocked from the U.S. Capitol. And this is where Moses Mike lives with a man who claims the separation of church and state is demonic. I mean, this is where we are in the United States of America. This would never happen in any other first world Western democracy, where you would have this crazy toxic enmeshment of church and state and people that have such a black and white worldview. Okay, put up the next slide.
Best and worst dinner for your waistline.
Since around the beginning of this year, according to interviews obtained by ProPublica. Next slide. Here he is. There's the preacher on the left, Moses Mike on the right, and then poor Mike Johnson's wife, but not really poor because this woman funds a bunch of anti-gay crap in Louisiana, all the Pray the Gay Away stuff, which is nothing short of complete psychological torture and abuse. Next slide. Okay, since the beginning of the year, videos and interviews show Johnson has regularly left the house in the morning and returned in the evening. One day that Johnson was there recently, Berger was also at the home, opening the front door barefoot in pajama bottoms. It appears Johnson may primarily be staying in the home's 2-bedroom basement. I mean, talk about a basement of horrors. But could you imagine if a Democrat were living in such a situation and a evangelical preacher were answering the door in basically his panties and his top off? I mean, this sounds pretty gay to me. All right, next one. Here they are together, the Pastor Berger and Moses Mike Johnson, calling out demonic practices like secularism. Okay, next up. Recently, Johnson has described his conversations with Trump to the pastor, according to Berger. After Russia invaded Ukraine, Berger said in a sermon that he'd advised some congressmen to see the conflict through the lens of Ezekiel 38 and 39. Parts of the Bible some see as prophesizing a great war before the second coming. He did not specify what that meant from a policy perspective. These people are rapture preppers. They see the horrific attack on Ukraine, a sovereign democratic nation, is somehow something to do with the rapture. This is why America is spiraling down a toilet right now.
Okay, so I just wanted you to hear this crazy part about how he opened the door in his panties. So that is who Mike Johnson, the Speaker of the House, that is his roommate while he's in D.C. So that's it for me. That's it for me, Liz. Thank you for hanging in here with me, Liz. You're a champ. I hope you guys have a great remainder of your day. Thank you for being here. Hit the like button on your way out. I will appreciate it. Don't forget, I'm doing my crafting and conversations on the 25th of this month at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We will be making this pottery bench. The supply list is on, and a flyer is on my community wall, giving you all the things that you will need to purchase. And if you don't have to purchase paint or stain, it will be that much cheaper. You can use your talents or your wishes to paint it any other color. It does not have to be this color. So meet me on Friday, the 25th of April at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we're going to be doing the thing. Z Sarah's like unreal. That was fun. Thank you for being here, M. Renee. I always appreciate you. I hope you guys have a great remainder of your day. And nah, I'm not gonna see you on the YouTube streets today. I got shit to do. Thank you guys. I appreciate you. Have a good one. All right. Bye-bye.
In the morning when I'm driving, I really come alive when I listen to my Ronnie, I listen to my Ronnie Q. They are rare and they are few who can compare with Ronnie Q. So grab a chair, she's coming through. She's on the air. It's time for Ronnie Q. They are rare